Hello everybody, my name is Michael, and in today's video what we're going to be doing is this right here. So if that looks exciting to you guys, please carry on and watch the video. Oh, and just one more thing before we go. Please consider like, commenting, and subscribing if you enjoyed the video. But now with all that out of the way, let's carry on with the video. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, of course, is grab the base you want to use here. I'm using a 40mm base here, so it's a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger than your average one, but a little bit smaller than a large base. And then I'm going to grab some ground texture here. Now, this is up to you. You can use whatever texture you want, because you can always paint over top of it. But I'm going to be using this little applicator here to place it down, which again, of course, is totally optional. You can use a popsicle stick, anything like that to place it down. I've got this nice little texture applicator, so it's going to help me be a little bit more precise with it as well. And then what I'm doing for this dirt road slash path that we're doing here is I'm going to be placing the texture paste all over it, and then I'm going to be scraping away a little bit from the middle and then more mounding it towards the side, so the path is down lower and then we've got some raised areas on the sides. So we've got that little area that we're going to walk through basically to have, and it's totally up to you how you want to apply this here. You may not be using texture paste, you may use different ground coverings, but try and keep it as different types of ground covering so you can get a clear difference between these raised edges and the little path between it, just to add in that little bit more natural realism to the whole effect. Then once you have your ground cover all dried up, depending on whether you use sand or rocks or anything like that, grab some Mod Podge here, as you can see, and I'm going to be applying it to the center or where the path is going to be. And I've got some sand slash gravel from my driveway here to apply that different texture. Like I said, that we want to have two different textures, you know, as close as you can. Try and have two distinct different textures so you can really tell what area is the path and what area is the ground covering beside the path, to give it that more natural look and make it look a little bit more interesting when your model's on it. So just lay out your path here, and as you can see, I've lowered it down a little bit so it's going to be a little bit easier to apply. And I've got a little bottle of Tic Tacs here that I use to apply my sand covering to things, so it's a little bit easier to control than pinching it. So, and then it's just a matter of applying it, waiting for it to dry so we can move on to the next step. Then once we have that completely dried up, as you can see, we've got our two different textures now. We've got a little bit more difference in there. I'm just going to use some leather brown here. Now this is up to you how you want to do the ground covering. Like I said, my texture paste was already very similar to how I wanted the ground covering, so it was an added bonus so I can save out on the step of painting it. But up to you what you want to paint this. You want to paint this as sort of like a desert path or a nice lush jungle path. It's totally up to you how you want to do here. I'm going sort of like a standard sort of walking track that a lot of people would use on the countryside basically. So just trying to lighten it up a bit of extra color by dry brushing on some leather brown. Okay, so now we've got that complete. Now it's time to decorate our base basically with how we want it. So I'm going to use a variety of different tufts and flowers and static grasses, flocking, all that different type of thing to try and make it look like a natural road here. I'm just going to be super gluing it on. You could also PVA glue it, or some of them come with them stick. I always like to just super glue it on just so I get that instant bond on there. And sometimes the little bit of tackiness you have on the tufts can come off if they're pre-made like these ones here, so I like to just add that little bit extra strength with the glue. But like I said, totally up to you what to do here. You can add in flowers, you can add, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do here yet. I'm just showing you a variety of the things that I am going to be using, and then we'll see at the end what it comes out like, because I'm just sort of going by feel. I'm not going by a predetermined thing that I've thought about beforehand. I want to try to see what looks natural and what helps this path along. Okay, so once you have that, we can paint up our track here, but I'm going to be using something different. I'm going to be using some Vallejo pigment powders, and I've never used these before, so I've gotten a nice beat up old brush, and I'm just going to be applying it here. And one thing I will say while I was doing this is you definitely want to make sure that you place a layer of glue over top to help settle it, and just give it a bit of a wet down with some watered down PVA glue to really seep into there and hold that stuff down, because it can very easily come off and cause a lot of mess everywhere. So just keep that in mind if you're applying anything like that, like I am. Okay, so then once you have your dirt path all laid out, it's just time for one final thing, and that is to go around and paint the rim of the base. Now you can paint it any colour you want as long as it's black. No, you can paint it whatever colour you want, but I just enjoy black because I like the end finish it gives to the miniature and really caps it off like it's its own little scene. But with all that painted up, we can now go on to the shots, and you can see what it looks like from different angles and how you can come up with ideas for your own pathway bases. And with all that complete, we've finally finished making up our dirt road base. And as you can see, just a nice few simple techniques. You've got a nice easy base that can be really cool for making it look like your character that you place on it is going on an adventure somewhere down that nice beaten down country road path. It's just something nice and simple to help spice up your miniatures a little bit. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys, whether you want to follow along with what I did here or you just want to use this video for some inspiration. But with all that said, guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.